Whoa. WrestleMania. Ross with a limited raising of the roof there.
Well, to peel the curtain back, we just did this with full Kavorka and knocked the bloody thing off.
The camera froze mid roof raise, and we were all
one of
like,
them this time.
Aye. And so yeah, we're nearing the end of the road to WrestleMania, and you know what? It's even though it's kind of got here a bit quickly, they've got a pretty solid card, WWE, I think.
It feels large.
It does, doesn't it?
It feels girthy. Certain bits feel a bit naff, like the showcase matches. Not on board with that concept, unless they get made like #1 contenders matches, something like that.
I don't see why it shouldn't be that. Yeah,
But in the large, it feels like a large WrestleMania.
it doesn't feel like they've stretched it too thin to fill 2 days. It feels like 2 big days. That's the tagline, I believe, of this year's WrestleMania.
Two big days.
It's a big one.
And to make it even bigger, we are here with 9 pitches. I'm joined by Ross and Andrew. How are you? How are you doing, pals?
I'm not bad, Paul. I couldn't wait for a long weekend of watching the wrestling. How about you, Paul?
I'm all right, me. I can't do it. I can't do the accent. I've lived here for what, like 4 years now, and I still can't do it.
You can't do it?
Why I pet?
Now, when people from very far south try to do a Geordie accent, sometimes they get stuck in Yorkshire. Chidi trying to do a Geordie accent, he just comes out a bit Yorkshire.
You're a bit Yorkshire.
Yes. Sorry about the accent discussion there. We've got some pitches to do. 9 lovely pitches for WrestleMania 39.
Yes.
We're going to go round in a circle, Ross, then Andrew, then myself, round 3 times, and we'll end up with 9 wonderful WrestleMania pitches. But it's not what we think's going to happen at WrestleMania.
It's what we want to happen.
Oh, yes.
Sticky fingers. What's sticky fingers today?
What from?
Can of Monster upstairs, I think.
Oh.
First pitch, anyway.
Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are in the ring for their introductions. Cody gets his first as he is the challenger. The crowd pops significantly. Roman starts to get announced by Samantha Irvin, but it's because it's WrestleMania. Paul Heyman snatches the microphone off her because he thinks he can do it better than her, even though he can't really, can he? Because she gives it the big one.
She does the Roman Reigns. Just kind of spooky voice.
It's like a jaw detaches and the top of her head goes backwards.
Oh.
It's very good. He says this, he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Paul Heyman. I am the special counsel for the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Universal Champion. He's the roadblock blocking all roads," another pun, "to WrestleMania. He is the cousin of Luther, the suffering succotash MC. Old bro man Reigns, love of my life, the wind beneath my wings, the tribal chief Roman Reigns." Gives it the big intro, so he does. Paul goes to motion to throw the mic towards the timekeeper's area, like he does, but he stops himself. And he comes back in the ring and he says, "Oh, Roman, I've pulled some strings. This one is no disqualification." Mic drop. Paul leaves the ring. He walks up the ramp with a poo-eating grin on his face. The Usos and Solo, quite crucially, are not there because of happenings during the tag team title match, which in my universe will take place at the end of night 1. This is obviously the end of night 2. Roman is going mental because he's always in control, and now Paul has meant that he's not in control at this very moment in time. He's not angry because of the stipulation. He's angry because someone on a lower branch on that there tree has told him what he's doing, you know.
Why has Paul done this?
We'll
have to wait and see.
I guess we'll find out soon. Roman Reigns is rattled. This also makes you think, well, now Cody's buggered because even though, as I said, Solo, Jimmy and Jay aren't there because of what happened on night 1, they're still going to appear at some point and do that there interfering because that's what they do as part of the bloodline. The deck is still stacked against Cody. I like the idea of Paul being the one to sow the seeds of dissension in the bloodline when all of the attention has been put on Jimmy and Jay and whether their loyalty to Roman has been there all along. I like the idea of Paul being the one to initiate the end of the bloodline, but I don't want Paul anywhere near the finish of the match. Cody still needs to have a definitive win with no help from anybody in the world ever. Right. We're going to move on now in the pitch. And from that opening bit with Paul Heyman and making no DQ, I'm pitching one of 2 finishes because, quite honest with you, I couldn't make my mind up. Either we're having the Usos and Solo come down, get involved, and somehow Cody still comes out on top. Maybe even Dustin makes an appearance if he's allowed to even the numbers up a bit. And then the bloodline implodes after the final bell. The final shot of the night is Roman on the mat, having lost everything. He's gone for a few months and then comes back reinvented. Or, even though I said I want Cody to get that conclusive win with no help and no interference, no buggery whatsoever, have Jay come down. And Jay's the one to cost Roman because Jay would have lost the tag team titles on night one. He's now without his titles. It's, making him a big fancy boy in the bloodline. Obviously, he thinks that Roman's a controlling, manipulative son of a bee. He's just aligning with Jimmy more so than he is aligning with Roman. So Jimmy and Jay could stay together while shafting Roman and all that sort of stuff. So it's a loose structure for the Roman and Cody match. That it's not as intricate as one of Andy's, but there we go.
But even though it's a little bit loose, I can't find any faults with it. I think I agree with everything you've said. So it's a yes from me.
One of the things in there is very similar to something I might have written. So I might get into that.
Such is the game, but Andy, when we do this as a shoot.
Once again, I've fleshed it out a little bit. So I'm going to say yes, because like Jack, I can't see any sort of faults in it. And you were right. I was a bit worried to start with when you were talking about Paul Heyman being the one to sow the seeds a little bit. But as long as he's not there in the final picture, as long as it's like Jay or someone there instead, I'm more than happy with that. So yeah, it's a big yes from me. Get in there.
Andrew, it looks like what's your first one about?
They're big. They're big for WrestleMania, boys.
I know, I'm quite
They're
scared.
very chunky. I don't know where to go for my Roman one first.
Well, I'll let you in on my first one's about Roman and Cody as well.
Should I mix it up
Should we
then?
do all the Roman ones first?
We'll do all the Roman ones first. Okay. There we go. We start here.
And then you at home need to rank them from worst to best. Comments down below.
No,
Okay.
No.
So on night one, Sami and Kevin win the tag titles, with Sami being the one to haluva kick Jay to end the Usos' long-standing tag team title reign. This leads in to night two, in which we kick off proceedings with a Bloodline segment. Roman sits silently seething, surrounded by his family and Paul Heyman.
WrestleMania? Oh, backstage.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Roman sits silently seething, surrounded by his family and Paul Heyman backstage. The wise man goes to ask Reigns whether they should be devising a strategy for this evening, but instead the tribal chief just cuts him off. Jay tries to apologize for what happened the previous night, for losing the titles, but Reigns doesn't want to hear it. He simply tells everyone to leave. And as they get up to exit the room, he grabs Jay by the arm and is like, "But not you little bugger." Right? Reigns sits Jay down, who tries once again to apologize for losing the tag team titles. But Reigns, he just finally snaps this time. He grabs Jay by the hair and pushes his skull against the wall. And he's going, "Do you see the pattern?" Roman asks Jay. "First you leave us high and dry for weeks after the Royal Rumble without a word. Solo starts disobeying my orders and loses to Cody. You openly challenge Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for your titles, in which you're the one that gets pinned. You're the weak link, Jay. Don't you see? You're tearing our family apart from the inside. You're getting in our heads, making us lose our focus. You've got one last chance. I know you didn't come back for me. You came back for your brother. So this is what we're going to do. I walk out with these titles still round my waist, or I'll make sure Jimmy never wrestles again. That'll be on your hands." And what's an Uso without their Us? Irrelevant. Irrelevant.
What's an Uso without their Us? Wow.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I thought you were pondering
No,
there.
I thought you were pondering.
Basking in the ambience of a great pitch.
So the main event finally arrives, and it's Cody versus Roman for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The big one, right? It's the big one. After Roman dominates for a large amount of the match, Cody starts to mount a comeback. He hits a Cody cutter as Roman kicks out by the skin of his teeth, leading to the inevitable Bloodline run-in. Jay leads the charge, knowing what he has to do to keep his brother safe from the tyrannical Reigns, but unbeknownst to him, as he's slightly ahead of his brothers, out come the new tag champions Sami and Kevin, who brawl with Jimmy and Solo into the back. So Jay reaches ringside as Roman hits a spear on Cody for a 2 count. Paul's doing his best. "You what, mate?" Doing all his facials and that, as Jay realizes he's on his own here, torn between heading back to help his brothers or help Reigns. As he almost decides to head back, Reigns begins calling over to Jay. He's got to get a chair. It's time to put Cody away for good. Paul heads up to the ring apron to distract the ref as Jay goes to grab a chair, and he does. However, he hesitates, holding it in his hand instead of passing it to Reigns, before slowly looking up at his cousin and tossing the chair to the floor.
Oh.
Instead, Jay grabs the WWE Championship and rolls into the ring. He stares at Roman in the eyes with the title in hand, and wow, what's he gonna do? He clocks Cody Rhodes with a title.
Oh, Andrew, what?
Right between the
What have
eyes,
you
sending a
done?
message to the American Nightmare as he drops to the canvas. Roman smirks. He knew Jay had fallen in line all along. Reigns brushes past Jay to collect the pin on a bloody Cody Rhodes. Only, no! Jay hits him with the title. He hits the tribal chief in the back of the head.
No!
With the WWE Championship. Jay rolls out of the ring, and Paul Heyman can't believe what he's witnessed as he steps off the ring apron. A stirring Cody gets to his feet to hit the crossroads probably 3 times, just for good measure, you know what I mean? On a lifeless Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. The tribal chief has been toppled after 900 plus days.
Oh.
And Cody Rhodes has finished the story. But for Jay, it's only just beginning.
Oh. When he just hit Cody, I was like, you've Bischoff and Russo'd me. It's like WCW in the early 2000s, but no, it was all right in the end. So I like it primarily because it gives us another compelling storyline of Roman versus Jay heading on from WrestleMania, and Cody can do his own thing with the belt.
Yeah.
So it's a yes from me.
Thank you.
One bit I don't like, Andrew, but the rest is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that you discredit everything Jay did at the start. Roman saying that Jay was always the weak link. You're forgetting the days of main event Jay Uso, and I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that.
No. That's not me saying that. That's Roman. Roman Reigns is.
But Roman wouldn't say that.
Vince.
Roman made him main event Jay Uso, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
On the
Maybe
SmackDown.
Maybe Roman's scared of him and he's trying to keep him
he's trying
down.
to
The Panny D. Remember the Panny D
I
days?
remember the
Panny.
Panny D days.
In
the Thundery Dundley though.
Thundery Dundley. Jackie Wacky, what's your pitchy witchy?
I was just leaving a gap there in case because I saw it flicker and I'm worried about the video.
Are we all
right?
good?
Oh, we'll just keep going. All right, here we go.
Keep it rolling.
Flickery rickery, when we're all righty whitey.
What are you doing?
Let's go woey, Jackie Wacky.
Is this the way I say things?
Your
Is-
first pitchy witchy. I
is
don't
this
know why
what
it started.
Andrew
Was?
says?
Do you know Andy Pandy?
No, I don't.
Sometimes I do use that sort of turn of phrase, but I feel like you're mocking Andrew more. I don't know what's going on. You seem very defeated.
You have to know what's happened here.
It's because I said Thunderly Dundley,
Oh, you started
wasn't it? And then Ross just went off.
We're all fans of Ned
Offy
Flanders
woffy.
here. My pitch also concerns Roman versus Cody, but we're starting with Owens and Zayn versus the Usos. Owens and Zayn beat the Usos, and it's such an intense match, they haven't recovered in time for Roman versus Cody. So Roman goes into his title match with only Heyman and Solo by his side. Midway through the match, and Roman is really frustrated. Cody's on top form, countering most of his moves, getting to the ropes when he tries the guillotine, and even when Roman finally catches him with a big spear, the ref's just been bumped, so there's no point in making the pinfall. Roman is now furious and grabs Cody, taking him to the outside of the ring, but on the way...
Sorry.
Can you focus, please?
I am, sorry.
But on the way, he barges past Paul Heyman because he's so angry, and Heyman falls to the floor going... Solo helps him up, and this seems to offend Roman because he's the tribal chief. He should be the most important. Why is Solo helping up Paul when he should be focused on the mission at hand? Roman gets in Solo's face and asks him who the tribal chief is. Solo, who I don't think ever says anything, says nothing, which only angers Roman more. He shoves Solo, who shoves him back, so Roman slaps Solo in the face, and Solo rears back to hit him, but then Heyman grabs his arm, saying, "No!" Roman arrogantly says, "Keep an eye on this kid for me, Paul."
Oh, he's not ready.
No, he's not ready, and turns back to deal with Cody. We see Heyman thinking hard, and then he lets go of Solo's arm, and Solo attacks Roman from behind, laying him on the announce table and splashing him through it. Paul is now staring at Solo the same way that he's been staring at Roman for the entirety of his title reign, and follows Solo to the back. This doesn't play directly into the finish. The match still carries on for a while, and Cody still wins in the end, leaving Roman not only without his belts, but without his family as well. We expect Roman to take a long while off to sell this devastating loss, so it's a surprise the next night on Raw when he attacks Adam Pearce in his office and storms the ring towards the end of the show. He takes out whoever's been wrestling in the main event and starts taking the ring and the ringside area apart like Nexus back in the day. The little Irish man on commentary gets launched over the table.
That's Kevin Patrick.
Kevin
How dare you.
Patrick gets launched over the table, and Corey runs away like the cowardly heel he is. Byron unwisely... Is Byron the third one on Raw? Who is it?
Two.
Oh, there's only two now.
Yeah, just two.
Right, then Corey tries to stand up to Roman and gets dragged into the ring. Roman is about to hit the spear when... Dum, 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 dum.
Oh.
Here comes Brock. I was trying to do the noise at the start of Brock's theme. Here comes Brock, fresh off his victory over Omos at WrestleMania. He bounces down to the ring and stares at Roman. He raises a finger. "One more time, me and you." Roman says, "Let's do this." The crowd are like, "No." Brock looks at Roman, then turns and nails Saxton or Corey with the F5 before shaking Reigns' hand. They hold up their arms together and declare themselves the New Man Power Trip. The New Man Power
Rhymes
Trip.
with two-man. New Man.
Yeah.
And then,
Gary
I don't know,
Newman.
then chaos ensues.
It's also a brand of like men's health, like Viagra tablets and stuff.
Oh, is
New,
it?
New Man here.
Oh, right.
okay.
The New Man Power
New
Trip.
Man.
Power Trip.
Well, so they're there with Raging.
Rock hard, Brock Lesnar. Stiff
Raging
one,
Bones.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
It's a yes from me. I like Solo getting the spotlight put on him.
Yeah.
He is ready. I don't believe the roadie codester, whatever the hell his name
The
is.
roadie
Yeah.
codes.
No, I don't believe him.
I think Cody's been a bit of a bully.
So do
Yeah,
I.
me too.
Yeah.
Be a star, Cody.
Not a bully.
No.
It's a yes from me as well because I like the idea of the spotlight, as Ross said, being shone on our Solo. I think he's like the one to perhaps go the distance in this whole
Go
in this
the
whole
distance?
thing. Yeah, sort of just like get the big push after all this is done.
Yeah.
Like really be turned into just a
really
monster.
protected him.
Yeah.
I think his loss to Cody on Raw was the first loss he's had on the main roster.
Yeah, apart from the DQ, obviously.
Did he
with
lo-
Kevin.
Oh,
Owens
right, yeah.
in the
It's his
thing.
first
Yeah.
pinfall loss, yeah.
definitely.
You know who his previous one pinfall loss was?
In NXT.
Grayson Waller.
Was it?
Oh,
Last June or July, whatever it was, can't remember. But I
Grayson.
Grayson.
Grayson?
ran the bloody
By the
twist.
power of
I like how
Grayson.
we've all pitched the end of the bloodline though. It
Yeah.
doesn't end.
Yeah.
All different, all little different,
different ways.
roads. All roads lead to WrestleMania.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
And all roads lead to our second round of pitches. Ross.
Right. Rey Mysterio is in the ring with his daughter and wife because this one is a family affair. Then, of course, across the old speakers in the arena, we hear Mysterio. Dun, 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 dun. It's Dom's normal theme. It starts playing. That's how it
Is
starts.
that it?
It
Oh, I
sounds
didn't
like
know that.
Sad But True by Metallica.
It does,
It starts off sounding like
I
that.
thought it sounded like the start of that. Dum, 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 dum.
Adam's
Samoa Joe.
Dum, dum, dum. No. No, the dum, dum, dum.
I know what you mean. It's like
Dum, dum,
2011
dum.
house party.
Get
yeah.
the flip up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then, after obviously the booze rained down now on Dom, and he's going to make his entrance down to the ring, but then we hear record scratch. Silence in the arena. Excuse me!
Oh.
Out walks Vicky Guerrero, who might have said this week that she wishes he was part of the storyline before Dom then appeared on Raw to say that he wishes he was Eddie's son. It all makes sense. It all falls into place itself. Less of that absolute crap, says Vicky. Less of that dad beat, which starts off with the name of a deadbeat dad. Let's play a little Dom to the ring with something that's brim with a bit more of class and sophistication. And
When
then
did Vicky turn into Muhammad Ali?
right now. And now Eddie's theme starts playing, but specifically the one that starts with Mamacita.
Oh.
Not a Latino hit, but it's obviously Mamacita is replaced with Mammy.
Mammy Sita.
Mammy. No, not
Oh,
Sita,
not
just
Sita.
Mammy.
Okay.
Rhea's the Mammy. Mammy. Headlights are then seen in the distance. Dom is riding into the arena in his own low rider with Flo Rider and
it's even better.
and his mammy on the passenger side of her lover's ride trying to holler at Ray because she don't want no scrub, she wants a sub called Dom. As the match is going on, it's a competitive thing.
This whole pitch is like an Enzo Amore.
I've got bars. As the match is going on, it's a competitive thing. Ray and Dom are going at it, hammering tongs. There's a couple of moments where Dom could cheat, but he's shouting, I need to beat you properly, deadbeat dad. If I cheat, it means now there, son, so I might as well do it properly until, whoopsie, Vicky Guerrero throws him some mace. This is Dom. He sprays it in Ray's eyes. He pulls off Ray's mask and gets a horrible roll-up victory for the win, and then wears Ray's mask as a trophy forevermore. From here on out, we've got Vicky Guerrero now being a definitive heel manager for Dom, since Rhea will win the title, I think, from Charlotte Flair, and she'll be a bit more preoccupied with her own stuff than to come out there and be just whispering sweet nothings into Dominik's ear. Dom's promos, we've been seeing, they've been getting better, but I just think playing off Vicky, they'll only get stronger.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
Fully,
big
fully
yes.
agreed. Love all the little elements as well, like the low rider and all
Yes.
that sort of stuff. I love that Flow Rider was there.
Yeah.
Because everyone hates him, don't they?
No, I don't. I have really fond memories of the My House song.
That's the one I hate so
No,
those
everyone
those
does.
opening little
I
few
love
piano
dun, 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 dun,
dun. Oh, it's like the Death March.
No, it's like excitement's on the horizon. What's that?
Oh.
Welcome to...
It's no sassy clap and start, Mr. Worldwide.
Oh, red light.
Red light.
Green
light.
light. What's this year's one?
It's Mr. Weekend again.
Oh, is it?
I forget what the song's
Yeah, some
called.
sort of like multi-year deal with
He
it.
is Mr. WrestleMania
I didn't
now.
mind Blinded by the Light.
Yeah, that was a good
but
one.
the whole Save Your Tears one.
I like Save Your
Oh,
Tears.
bit weird.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think
Bit
it
weird.
worked for WrestleMania.
No, I agree with that
a bit
one.
mournful. Anyway, it's a yes. It's a yes from me.
It's a yes from me as well. So again, my next one's also about this, right?
Oh.
But I've tried to figure out a way around it because I know that I think Vicky isn't out of her AEW contract until July.
That's true.
And that's the only thing.
That doesn't
But that
matter.
doesn't matter because it's what we want to happen
They've
anyway,
mutually.
right?
So the real story is they've mutually agreed that her contract won't be extended.
Yeah.
in the summer. Yeah.
But I mean, all of that is fantastic. So it's a yes from me anyway, regardless.
Thank you, Andrew.
So mine is also regarding this. I've done it a little bit differently in classic fashion. Incredibly dramatic.
Love it.
All right. So we look to Friday Night SmackDown. Cutting backstage, we see Booyaka, Ronald Mysterious looking all snazzy, prepping himself, for the big night ahead. The camera pans and we see Conan by his side, thus confirming that he'll be inducting his friend into the Hall of Fame later in the evening. So Conan tells Ray how proud he is of his friend, how proud he is that Ray has continued to lift the legacy of Lucha Libre and Latino culture to new heights. And he's just sorry to see what Ray is currently going through with his son. Tonight should be all about family, a passing of the torch, and a means to honor the Mysterio name. Ray tells Conan he would have loved nothing more than to have his son with him on this night. He was even thinking this would be the year he'd hang up the mask, let Dom take the mantle to forge his own legacy without the shadow of his father looming over him. But he's failed, and he won't stop until he's made everything right, even if it means facing his son one-on-one in the middle of the ring to try and get through to him. But tonight, you don't need to worry tonight, Conan, let me tell you that, because as much as it pains him not to have his son there, Ray has word that Dom won't be in the arena this evening. Security's tight, and it's all about the familia that'll be with him in that room to celebrate this momentous occasion. So it's the Hall of Fame now. Conan introduces Ray and heads to the back as the master of the 619 gears up for his speech. And everything's going smoothly. Ray even gets a hefty amount of stage time before a battered Conan gets tossed through the curtain with ease. Enter Rhea Ripley and Dominik, who come sauntering out to confront Ray. Ray checks on Conan before before Dom takes the mic. And Dom says, "Is this it? Was it really worth it for this? You leave your family, you leave me for decades, you miss football games, birthdays, Christmases, just so you can get a pat on the back and stand out here in front of all these people you don't even know for empty accolades. And you have the balls to call them," he points, "the WWE Universe family. I guess out of sight, out of mind, right? What did you say? All the family you need is in this room tonight." Figures that the one family that truly made you who you are, made you anything worth talking about, the Guerreros, aren't even here to celebrate this with you. Because just like me, you toss them to the side when it suits your own needs. You want to teach me a lesson about being a Mysterio, about family? I was home every single day looking after Mum and Alea, while you told the world protecting what was truly important to you, your legacy. Boo. Rubbish, Dad. You can't teach me anything when I had to learn everything by myself. So tomorrow night, I'm going to teach you what it means to be a true Mysterio when I take the name, wipe it clean of your disgrace, and make it mean something again. So we fast forward to the match itself. At the grandest stage of them all, Ray enters first, followed by Dominik, who is donned in full Eddie Guerrero Latino heat gear, doing all the Viva La Raza coming down on the
Do we think he's actually going to do that?
I feel like he might do.
Yeah,
I feel like he might do.
Mullet's been good, hasn't it, surely?
And he's doing this to really get in the head of Rey Mysterio. But there's no shenanigans, right? No members of either Judgment Day or Legado del Fantasma at either side. It's just father and son facing off one-on-one. The match sees Rey in full control to begin with, his experience proving to be too much for Dom, but after some slight hesitation on Rey's behalf, because he's realised, he's fighting his own flesh and blood here, that leaves an opening for Dom to take advantage of his father. He manages to hit 2 of the 3 amigos on his dad, does our Dominik, after Rey manages to counter the final one, dropkick Dom into the middle rope for the 619 frog splash combination, leading to Daddy Mysterio getting the 1, 2, 3. After the match, Ray is distraught, full of emotion and tears as he paces the ring as Dominik sits in the corner, beaten and spent. After everything Dominik has put his father through for months, Ray charges towards him in the corner in a heated manner, but rather than follow up with an attack, he instead brings his son up to his feet. As the two stand in the ring, Ray hugs Dom. He holds his head and puts it towards his own. I'm sorry, son, like he does when he puts his head next to my knee. I'm sorry, son, he says. I'm sorry for what I've put you through. I'm sorry for pushing you away. Wait, what? I'm sorry for pushing you away, for making you become who you are, for leaving you to be the real man in this family. Ray reaches towards his mask as Dom says nothing, but you can see the conflict and emotion in his eyes. He's truly torn about how he should feel in this moment. Ray simply says, be better. Take the mantle and become something more. The whole crowd can't believe what's happening. Is this the end of an era, perhaps, as Ray slowly begins to remove his mask? The camera is so closely positioned on the father and son's expressions in the moment when, from behind, Rey Mysterio... Wait, I phrased that wrong. From behind Rey Mysterio is a figure also adorning one of the legendary luchador's masks. A low blow brings Mysterio to his knees before he has the opportunity to pass the torch to his son. Dom looks on confused as to what's happened. It's not a member of the Judgment Day. No! The masked assailant reveals themselves to be... Ooh, Chavo!
Wait. That noise. I know that's what his theme tune does, but...
Chavo.
Oh.
Chavo passes Dom a piece of paper written the words, just think about it, before slowly exiting
what?
the ring.
Think about
and
what?
leaving. This is it. And this
What
is what gets revealed, boys.
Why can't you just say that?
Like you made a substitution in a football game.
This is what
Just think
gets.
about that, Dom,
This
will you?
is what gets
so the cameras
revealed.
can't see what he's
This is
saying.
what gets revealed
All
later on,
right.
right? In the
Is it one of those
storyline.
like things that you play in the playground?
Yeah. It's because Chavo.
You smell like poo, huh?
Chavo's almost acting as like a proxy for Vicky Guerrero down the line. He's trying to bring them in. We'll get Vicky back in July, get her back in for SummerSlam or something like that, and have the Guerreros back together with Dom at the helm.
Okay.
Again, Andy, there's one bit that I'm taking issue with.
Chavo?
You've had Ray say what Dom has been saying to Ray.
Yeah.
And then Ray go, yeah, you're right there. But you've had Ray go to Dom, be better. You've just proven everything that Dom's been saying right there by having Ray say the same things.
Well, yeah, because he loves his son.
Dom. I've been a
He
terrible
loves his
father.
son so much that
You
he's
be
just
better.
like he loves his son so
I'm
much
gonna
that he's
boo
just
Rey
like
Mysterio after that.
Well, yeah.
I loved Dom's speech at the Hall of Fame. I thought
Yeah.
it was really good. I was about to take issue with introducing an angle at the Hall of Fame when I think the Hall of Fame should be a bit more of a separate night. I like when the crowd get involved booing and cheering whoever's going to wrestle at WrestleMania and all that. Was it The Miz and Shane McMahon?
Kofi,
was
wasn't it?
really good. And Kofi as well and Brian. But the speech was so good that I thought, no, I'm happy with
Thank
that.
you.
But this ending's a little bit too
Don't like the-
silly
It's a
for
bit
me.
silly for you.
So it's
Okay.
one of them. It's a middle
All
one.
right. I was thinking as well, right? Since
But the effort you've gone.
Thank you.
The speech was really well written.
if Dom gets involved here, maybe like the retirement of Rey Mysterio it all concludes next WrestleMania 40, where it is Rey and Dom once again for, I guess the Mysterio name and the mantle. And maybe that is when Rey can have his final, like his big Hall of Fame. He can actually properly have a Hall of Fame moment.
That's fair enough.
That evening. I'm pushing it. Hello. I'm taking it from this, now, the present, and putting it in the future
That's fair enough.
for later.
Mine's that.
I'll have that.
What
I'll have that
about
in a
you,
bit.
Ro? You've gone for a...
Oh.
So
Oh,
together,
sorry.
you've got like a...
Like a graph.
Together, you've got like a north-northwest.
It's like a quarter. No, like a 5-2.
Yeah, like
It's
5-2.
5-2.
Yeah.
Got 5-2.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
My second pitch concerns the match we've all been looking forward to the very most. It's the men's tag team showcase match. Yes. Yeah. Midway through the match, Otis and Chad are going to war with the Viking Raiders on the outside. It's a wild brawl, but then who should rush out urgently? Why, it's the Maximum Male Models and Maxine Dupree. They tell Otis that several fashion houses want him to represent their designer gear at the Met Gala, and he needs to leave to get ready right away. Gable says, hold on there. I've Googled this. The Met Gala doesn't start until May 1st. And they go, exactly, there's barely any time. And they all run off. Because I think that's what they would do, yeah. Otis is conflicted, but does leave with MMM,
Oh.
leaving Gable heartbroken until he's smashed through the announce table by the Viking Raiders. Back in the ring, the Street Profits have Strowman and Ricochet beaten, but Eric and Ivar break up their pinfall just in time. It's down to the Vikings and the Street Profits, and Dawkins is about to get pinned, so Ford dives with his big frog splash to break up the pinfall, but Dawkins actually kicks out and gets hit with the frog splash instead.
Oh no.
The Viking Raiders take full advantage and win the match, becoming #1 contenders to the tag team belts in the process. The next night on Raw, a jubilant Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are having their title celebration, having beaten the Usos to become the tag team champions. But they're attacked from behind by the Viking Raiders, who want their title shot right now. And not in any old match. It's a Viking rules match. And you know what that means.
There are no rules.
There are no rules. Oh, you
Yeah.
were right. So back in the day
No,
when we used to book them,
Oh, okay.
we didn't personally book
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
but they've wrestled in the promotion that we were affiliated
Yes.
with. They would, every match when they were the tag team champions, they'd go, this isn't a normal match. This is a war machine.
War
War
Machine
Machine
rules
rules,
then?
yeah.
At
You
that
know what
point?
that means? There are no rules.
Right.
And every night in a different town, the
Yeah.
crowd would be like, yeah! But we'd be like, we know what it means.
Yeah.
There are no rules. And the four men have a 20-minute barn burner. Everyone says, wow, this is one of the greatest Raw matches of all time. Even better than the two-man power trip match where Triple H got really injured, which everyone remembers as a really good match. The good guys, though, win in the end and celebrate in the ring when, a shiny new pickup truck pulls onto the stage and out steps FTR. Everyone loses their minds.
What?
The rest of the stuff with Chad and Otis is in my third pitch, so you'll have to wait. To find out.
Oh, that's exciting.
Sequential.
Mm-hmm.
I like it if it can be done, but then again, it's not
I know,
what we think's going to happen.
yeah.
It's what we
At
want
the-
to happen.
At the time of recording, we don't know what the deal is with FTR.
No.
We don't know.
And to be honest with you, I want to see them go back to the WWE because I think they'll be showcased better.
As long as it's Triple H in charge,
Yeah.
I agree. Which I hesitated to say because AEW is an indie dreamland, but it's not. It's not for FTR anyway.
They've been there for how long? 3 years? 2 years? 2 years? 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.5 to 3 years. And it's never got there, has it?
No. Their best stuff
got
came
there.
with the Briscoes in Ring of Honor.
5-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And against like Aussie Open and New
And the
Japan.
Young Bucks.
Yeah.
And the Bucks.
And the
but
Bucks.
The
Wrong team won.
Bucks won, and then FTR got their win back on telly. And I remember
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
oh, those bloody Bucks. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them back as well. Yeah.
I'd love to see it because I think the tag division now has been fleshed out quite well in WWE, and there's some like genuine. I know a lot of them to start with felt just like thrown together teams, but they've sort of really managed to make it work somehow. And I always enjoy watching what they all get up to on TV. So yeah, I'd love to see FTR in sort of the midst of all that now.
I might be the only person in the world who thinks this, but I like the throwback nature of their theme tune. But I like the say yeah better, I think. Yeah.
Oh, no.
You prefer the doo-doo-doo-doo?
Yeah, the current one is the Streets Ahead.
Okay.
It is good.
It's the
I
better
like that
trap
one.
It's
beat.
really 80s, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they when they come back? Are they still FTR or do
Whatever
we-
they want, but I think they'll have to be. Even if they're against Owens and Zayn, I think they'll get cheered anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make them
Yeah,
too
that's a good
heelish
point.
right now. But that can just be a big old series of matches I'd like to see between those four.
Yeah,
but,
they'd be amazing together.
I don't think we should necessarily make one team a heel and one a face. Just
Yeah.
let them.
Let me.
Create magical music.
But then eventually, I'm thinking them versus the Usos or them versus
Oh,
the
yeah.
Street EPs and all the good matches they could all have together. So,
I like it.
Hit row.
and Hit Row.
Country music versus rap music.
Oh, yeah, that's-
Oh, rap is crap
Rap
and all
is
that. Great times.
Lovely.
I wasn't watching at the time, but I've heard that song referenced in glowing terms. Was that
Mr.
the West,
Hennig,
West
yeah.
Texas Rednecks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Ross, sorry, yes, your third and final pitch, please.
Right, I'm really excited for Brock Lesnar versus Omos now after that segment on Raw, because Brock Lesnar, if he's going to run 100 miles an hour like he was in that segment in this match and just try to knock Omos over, I'm here to watch half an hour to 45 minutes of that just to see if he can get the job done. So, the match starts at WrestleMania and Brock is just running at Omos trying to knock him over like he was on Raw, but it can't happen. It continues to not happen. But eventually, after kicking out of Omos's choke choke bomb. I don't know what its official name is. What is it?
I don't know.
The choke bomb. Brock gets Omos up for the F5. Omos kicks out at 2.
Oh
choke
my
bomb.
God.
Lesnar kicks out at 2. F5. Omos kicks out at 2. Choke bomb.
Oh my
Lesnar
God.
kicks out at 2. F5. It's over. It's over. It's not because Omos is kicked out again. Brock doesn't know what to do. He scales the top rope. He looks around the arena. He shouts, SSP,
Don't do it.
baby! And he's doing the signals. The crowd's going, oh my God, he's going to do it, the mental bastard.
Doing that?
He's doing He's going to do Shades of
What
WrestleMania
a
19
sport monkey.
all over again. 20 years ago it is now, believe it or not. That's a sad fact, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
WrestleMania 19. Yee-haw, he says. Just as he's about to push off, the Hurt Business theme starts.
What?
Oh.
Lashley, Cedric, Shelton come down to the ring and berate MVP initially. That's your boy, her. That's the one you want, her. Pointing at Omos, who's sort of like half knocked out because of the action we've seen in the previous half an hour to 45 minutes. Hurt Business then beat down MVP and Omos, and then Brock Lesnar, you can just see the cogs turning in his cowboy head. He's remembering that Bobby Lashley is the one who was doing the Hurt Business all up in Omos's ass, and he doesn't like him because of what happened at Elimination Chamber and other previous premium live events. Couple that with the fact that Brock now really likes how big Omos is, we know that much, and this new respect he has for his blood brother after their silly match forged their bond in combat, so he heads back into the ring and he evens the odds. On one side the Hurt Business, on t'other MVP Omos and Brock. Where are we off? I've lost my place, oh my God. Brock cuts a heartfelt promo saying, Omos, you used to be rubbish, you pal, but now you're not, because my name is Brock and your name is Omos, and together we are now best friends bros. Let's team together and call ourselves Bromos. Bromos. Bromos and MVP, as I just said, their face off against the Hurt Business in an impromptu 6-man tag, with Bromos winning because they are Bromos. Lashley and Lesnar can then get on to their eventual proper rubber match with a conclusive ending down the line, because that kick to the bollocks, that is a load of bollocks. We did proper conclusive ending to their trilogy of matches, and then Bromos can get their own reality series on the WWE Network where Brock Lesnar shows Omos how to do the farming.
Oh, that's great.
Hours of fun.
It's good.
Great.
That is good. How is he going to fit in a tractor?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's a yes from me, and that's all the explanation I need to give.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, it's a yes from me as well.
Yeah, it's
Whatever
good.
you do, though, don't search Bromos on Twitter.
Oh, this is what you did before.
Oh.
Wait, what happened?
I've just assumed it's got to be a thing already. People have been saying Bromos. I just assume it's just like a tag.
You can't be
Yeah.
the first person in the history of the world to think
Yeah.
of Bro.
Brock
Yeah.
and Omos. And no, it turns out there's no evidence on Twitter of it, but there are just a lot of throbbing phalluses. So
Oh, no.
if you like a throbbing phallus with maybe a ring around it, Bromos is your thing to search on
Right.
Twitter. I looked at that on the work computers this morning.
You're fantastic.
Oh, dear. I heard
Wow.
Ross make not like an annoyed noise, just like a disappointed, like, Bromos.
Not that you would have known, though, I guess. Would you?
How would
yeah.
you? What connotation did Bromos
I
have
don't know.
to
There'll be
Maybe it's-
something
Maybe
out
it's
there.
the name of
Winkies.
like the ring or something. Maybe it's a
A
brand.
Bromos ring.
Bromos
Maybe,
ring.
yeah.
They could sell in WWE shop. There you go.
Exactly.
But,
Get your own farmer Bromos's rings.
Oh.
Oh dear.
It's
Anyway.
a yes from us.
Oh, it's a
anyway.
yes from you. That was great. I enjoyed that. I want the sitcom. I want the documentary style.
Who was it in the build-up to Clash at the Castle who was getting taught to farm?
Damian Priest.
Priest,
That's
yeah.
what I was
Priest, that's
thinking
the
of when
one,
you
yeah.
said
Oh,
that.
he's a nice boy, really.
Yeah, that would be so good.
Have you gone silly or serious?
I'm still sticking serious.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
still on
I'm
the-
sorry. I'm
still
sorry.
on that-
I know. Sorry. Yeah, that was
still on
serious.
your dramatic tip.
I am on my because it's WrestleMania. You know.
Okay.
Emotions are running high. So for this final one, we head over to the IC title match. It's a really simple, basic pitch, this, right? But it's something I think is long overdue, especially considering what's been happening within this feud thus far. So part of me really wants Sheamus to win because he deserves it. And it's eluded him his whole career.
And because he's sad.
And because he's sad. But then another part of me, a horrible, disgusting part of me, wants to see Gunther hold on to the championship at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
To act as the catalyst for a cataclysmic heel turn.
Whoa.
We've all seen the tension build up between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in the recent weeks, and even had some tiny little teasers of the Scottish Warrior perhaps looking to strike his rival / rival when Sheamus's back has been turned on a few occasions, even going as far as to say, when he was asked about this, if you get in my way, you'll get a claymore, you dafty, you know what I mean? So I reckon we should start with all three men in the match just turning each other's chests into raw steaks, right? We get what we want. We get an all-out brutal brawl between the three of WWE's beefiest boys. Then towards the middle of the match, we see Drew and Sheamus perhaps working together to try to take Gunther out of the equation. They realize that they've got some unfinished business together, and the only way to address that is if they take out this ruddy, tall Austrian man between them. So once they've accomplished that, they mutually and respectfully decide to beat the urine out of each other, thus lulling us into a sense of, all right, so they were teasing a heel turn, but really, they're just two determined friends vying for the same championship. Things start to get a little more aggressive, however, and frustrations and tempers begin to boil over, and it all culminates in a moment that has the crowd on their feet as Sheamus and Drew collide in a big man-meat car wreck that's the Celtic Warrior connecting with the bro kick and McIntyre connecting with the Claymore at the same time. And then everybody is eagerly awaiting to see which superstar rises to their feet first. And it's Sheamus. He stumbles over towards Drew for the pin, but Gunther, who's been quietly biding his time on the outside of the ring, rolls in to hit a dazed Sheamus with a powerbomb, throwing the Great White right on top of Drew to pack him and stack him for the 1, 2, 3 to retain his title. So as Gunther leaves the arena, Sheamus is left in the middle of the ring. He's just completely distraught about all this. Once again, the IC title eludes him. Drew eventually gets to his feet and the crowd are up for both competitors in the ring. You've fantastic work. That's like everybody on the feet clapping for the boys. Drew extends his hand for Sheamus to shake, and the Celtic Warrior accepts. And then McIntyre finally raises his friend's arm and they begin to hug it out as they both soak in the adulation from the crowd. And then, however, as Sheamus goes to leave the ring, that's when Claymore City Central hits. And Drew McIntyre turns himself into a big, bloody, heely boy. And, oh, it's sad.
Get up there.
Yeah?
Get up there.
We're
not going that way. We're going straight
up. 12 o'clock, everybody.
Straight up to top.
Same.
That was flawless.
Same as well, same.
I like the visuals of the Claymore and the bro kick at the same time. I like the stack 'em and the pack 'em.
Yeah.
I like the heel turn at the end because it's time for Drew to do it.
It is.
Yeah,
Big
same.
time.
Exactly the same.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes, Queen.
Well
Yes,
done,
Mania.
And my third and final pitch is kind of a carry on from. So remember last time, what's happened is that what happened last time? Oh yeah, FTR came back, but the main part for this pitch is that Otis has fully now betrayed Gable and he's gone off with Maximum Male Models. The brands get a bit messy here, so let's say that maybe Theory and Gunther swap over after Mania, so both mid-card belts are switched, or at least that the brand restrictions are relaxed a bit until the draft and you just get guys popping up. Anyway, Rhea wins her match against Charlotte on her own, but elsewhere over the course of WrestleMania weekend does help Dom defeat Rey Mysterio. They start referring to themselves as the most powerful couple in WWE. There's lots of obnoxious promos and so on. Meanwhile, Chad Gable is like a lost little lamb after losing Otis to Maximum Male Models once and for all. On the Raw after Mania, Gunther singles out Chad because Gunther, even though he's a heel, he's all about respecting the ring and proper competition, and even says he recognizes Chad as one of the best pure wrestlers in this entire industry. But backstage, a despondent Chad has to actually be talked into having the match by Adam Pearce backstage. He does eventually have the match though and comes very, very close to winning the belt before losing. Even more despondent after this loss, he's sat alone on some production crates the next week when MMM walk past on their way to ringside for Otis's title match against Gunther, and they sneer at Gable, etc. Gunther wins another close match, beating Otis this time. Afterwards, Maximum Male Models declare that Otis is now out of fashion, and they beat him down in the ring.
Oh.
I know. He is held in a submission and looks desperately towards the entrance, but nobody comes along to save him. The following week, Otis is surprised by a call on his phone, but we don't see. Would Otis have a phone? Yeah, probably.
Would Otis have a phone?
Well, he just seems to live this existence of just like, I don't know. Yeah, he'd have a phone, I guess.
But it's just a steak.
Yeah, but we don't see who it is calling him, and he says, "You're right. I made a mistake, but how can I make this right? He says it in like an Odyssey way, though. Later in the night, Dom faces Gable in a singles match, which goes to a no contest after Rhea gets involved and they beat down Gable mercilessly. This isn't because of any feud between Dom and Gable. This has just become a bit of a running theme after Rhea and Dom won at Mania and refer to themselves as the power couple and everything. They really take over the show and beat people down once they've beaten them. But here comes Otis to save the day, charging into the ring and taking out Dom. However, Otis is then hit with a chair from behind by Rhea and sinks to his knees, going like, in an Otis way again. I can't do an Otis, unfortunately. Here we go. Rhea raises the chair, preparing to deliver the final blow, when who should come out to save the day and save Alpha Academy? Mandy.
Oh.
Now, that would never happen. But
It might happen.
well, here she comes.
The sales might have dried up a bit on the old website.
She charges down and goes to knee Rhea, but Rhea moves and Dom takes the knee full in the face, saving the action between Rhea and Mandy for Mandy's inevitable title shot. Rhea rolls out of there, grabs her belt and promises revenge. This leads to maybe like Extreme Rules with a mixed 6-person tag team match. Rhea, Dom and like Balor or Priest against Gable, Otis and Mandy. This will then lead to Rhea versus Mandy, and I've put which Rhea will win, I suppose. But
Not Triple H.
maybe Mandy, yeah, maybe.
It's just like Triple H.
Yeah, because of a reign.
Yeah.
Really good reign.
You're really good reign.
Really sad the way it ended because
Yeah,
she
it
was
was.
genuinely. This isn't like when me and Ross laugh at. We pretend something's good on NXT. Like she was genuinely very good. On
No,
NXT.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, no, yeah.
Have I just heard that?
No,
I
it's
can't
all
believe
great.
that.
It's all great
It's
stuff.
all-
It is
it's
really
all-
good.
So
As was that pitch.
Yeah,
Thank you,
That
cheers.
gets a straight up from me. That one. I like. Does that
Whoa.
sound a bit weird?
especially when Mandy's
well,
involved.
well, you just made it weird. Now.
Sorry.
But no, I think you've tied that all in really, really well. And then the nice surprise of Mandy coming back too.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool to see.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it, for
Yeah.
Otis? Because that. How did that? It kind of just sort of went.
It
oh,
just
they
fizzled
broke-
out,
They broke
didn't it?
up.
Well, they went,
Yeah.
the brand split, didn't they? And then you can't have
Yeah.
a boyfriend or girlfriend on the opposite brand. Can you?
Yeah.
Did she just leave him because he lost his money in the bank
I
briefcase?
think there was an allusion to it once. An allusion to
Yeah.
it. Where like Toxic Attraction were like, what happened to that loser? Something, I don't know. And she was like,
Loser? Just like that. She was like, no. Because she secretly has deep, dark feelings for him. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I wish that
Let
you'd
you
written
continue to talk,
I
Andrew.
wish that you'd
Stop
written a
me.
Mandy pitch because I want to know what's going on.
You have to stop me.
Did you enjoy that storyline that year, Mandy and Otis?
I loved it,
That was
mate.
great.
Yeah,
I
it was
loved
good.
it. That was good.
That WrestleMania kiss. Oh,
Oh, it was a brilliant
Oh.
time. And then when he
payoff.
saved her in the Rumble, when she landed on him.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, those were the pitches, I guess, for WrestleMania. What ending there?
There's a fantastic bit of random SmackDown where they're necking on in the pool, right? And then it cuts back to, is it Kurt Angle? And Kurt Angle's face is just like,
Oh, no.
it's not linked at all, but just the way the show is cut together.
Oh, right,
It's
right,
like
right.
Kurt Angle.
I thought even he was
Yeah.
watching on a
Oh, wow.
monitor.
I think I've got it saved. I'm going to have to share it
You
now.
know Cody's wholesome face when Sammy and Kevin finally hugged and Cody's like,
Yeah.
imagine Angle like, they're getting on in the pool. Those are our WrestleMania pitches. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We have all the content coming out for WrestleMania. Ross,
Jack.
WTF moments, and all
Yeah,
that.
they'll be on the Chanel around about 12:30 p.m. BST on Sunday and Monday, respectively. Andrew, who's doing the reacting stuff?
We have predictions going up tomorrow between quite a number of us, actually. I don't want
Oh.
to spoil the combinations for night 1 and night 2, but there will be different combinations night 1 and night 2 for the live reactions, and that will be over on youtube.com/cultaholic/live.
Fair enough. And I'll be here with what happened after WrestleMania nights 1 and night 2 as well. And that's about all I can think of, really, in terms of I'll be doing a Matches of the Month special podcast on the audio feed for the best matches of WrestleMania week as well, which will be going out on sometime next week in the days following Mania. But apart from that, I don't know what else to say, really. WrestleMania.
Da, da, da.
And the podcast will be, I'm sure we'll talk all about it and all that sort of stuff as well. Aye. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Leave your pictures in the comments section down below. What do you want to happen at WrestleMania? And let us know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon.